They about facing, I'm brow raising, the marathon, we just outpace them. They gave me sticks and stones, I built a foundation. Hey, what it do? All I'm seeing is W's. Hey, I was working through issues they couldn't troubleshoot. Hey, who you think I'ma choose between my gut or you? More work, less boot up, niggas is bugaboos. Please crown them, still authentic on each outing. Still arrive, even though they tried to reroute them. Got them.
When you say I'm y'all bugaboos,
More work, less boot up. Niggas is bugaboos, man. Like, man, I'm so inspired, man. And that's really what this is all about for me, is just following the inspiration, you know, being in here around all of this greatness, these great pictures, these great reminders, you know. There's so much in us, man, and a lot of times we'll allow life to kind of take us out of that, you know, whether it be, you know, what's going on on the plantation, as you said, you know, and then we'll lose sight of our gifts. We all got gifts and talent, you know. We all have ways that we can contribute to this world, and I'm just blessed, man, to be able to link up with guys like you, Burns, that share that same vision. Guys like you, Corey, that through a lens, you know, we can change the world. You know, we can put our stamp on it, and that's where I'm at with it. I mean, these words are powerful, man.
Well, they are.
These words are powerful, man. There's power in the life and tongue. Power in the tongue, you know. It's life and death in the tongue, man, you know. And I'm a firm believer that, you know, any influence that I have is to empower, you know, our people, you know.
Yeah, so, you got to, but hey, that's it. That is it. You said it all.
Absolutely.
Because the plantation can definitely get us caught up. Yeah. We're like, you know, so busy and doing that, where we've got natural gifts and talents.
Absolutely.
Ideas, you know. And when we put these things together, put them to use, we can actually cause change. I notice that myself. Every time I get away from it, from being involved in the plantation and doing this and doing that, when I come back to it, I'm like, well, damn, I should have been doing this.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And it's almost like a reckoning, almost like a quickening of the spirit. You find out something that's been here the whole time. You just got to take time to dig it out. You know?
It's people walking around here walking and getting these blessings that are far less talented, but they just have more courage and they're fearless.
Yeah, they are. That's exactly right.
And they're fearless. So they're fearless and they're getting to these goals and they're getting to these, to these things that we could also be blessed with, but they're also fearless. And fear is holding a lot of people back from walking in their true destiny, their true calling. Not to get all, deep with it. My bad, Corey, but it's just, I'm a firm believer in that. I remember I almost gave up music altogether. I had moved, had a family, I was doing a family thing, and it had been like a few years since I recorded, and I had all of these beats on my hard drive, and it was like a year. It took me a year to get the courage up to even write a verse again, man. I was so nervous that it was going to be whack, or I was nervous that, I was no longer going to have the gift of putting together the bars to my standard. And fear really almost just took me out, man. And was like, I remember stepping in the booth for the first time and having this huge relief, man. Like, nah, bro, this is what you're supposed to do. And it's crazy, man, because my man V12, man, producer out there in LA, he told me, man, he was like, yo, what you doing? Continue doing this, man. And I went back, man, and I Googled all of my accomplishments, man. I saw myself, in the studio with Joe Budden, doing certain things, remembering the times opening up for KRS-One and MC Light and Big Daddy Kane. And I'm like, man, these are things that don't happen to just everybody from where I'm from, And even though, you put it down for a minute, this is who you are, this is not what I do. This is who I am. Hip hop is who I am. And I had to really just kind of just meditate on that, pray on that, and was like, yo. And when I made the decision, man, I started writing. I mean, and I discovered that I was not just up to par, but I was better than what I was before, you know, because this wasn't about just the bars. This was about life. This was about experiences. This is about things and trials and tribulations that, you know, I went through and gone through, you know, real type stuff that people, you know, can relate to, man. And I just found out that I had so much to talk about, man. And it's crazy because, you know, I've seen fear just take so many people out of the game, man. And there's other people that, you know, capitalize on that fearlessness and they live in their dreams, you know. One thing I had to also calibrate too was how I measured success. And measuring success, you know, is not necessarily walking into a building, signing a deal, you know. You can be successful by putting out great projects, you know what I'm saying, touching folks one at a time, you know, and as you build your foundation and you enjoy the journey, that's success too, you know. Whenever you get and play the music, you know, and you listen to like, oh man, like this didn't even exist a few minutes ago before I listened and put the pen to it and came up with the concept, you know what I'm saying? All of that, you know, now this is something that exists. You know, it was major for me, man. So, hey, let's all push through our fears, man. You know what I mean?